Clutching at my neck won't leave me alone. Will you see yourself back in the sun? The light it stings while the night it sings to me. An abnormal how a story I can't tell, but they'll see the gift they've given to me. I could step aside, I could end this life, but this disease, it won't release, it won't be cured by the night. I guess I'm never coming back. I'm owning on time.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the St. By Night Twitch channel, where we play St. Petersburg by Night, a massive multiplayer tabletop role-playing game set in the world of darkness. We play Vampire the Masquerade, we play Hunter the Reckoning, and we play Werewolf the Apocalypse. My name is Crafty Mirage. You can find me on all social media at Crafty Mirage, and I am one of the storytellers here at St. By Night. Make sure to check out St. By Night on all major social media platforms. We're on Twitter, also known as X. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, and we're on YouTube, where you can catch up on all of our past episodes. But you should check us out on our website, stpetebynight.com, where we have our city map, our storyteller profiles, our new game setup, like our new game setup and schedule, and we also have our one-of-a-kind threat meter, which is getting lower by the day, thank Kane. And if you aren't already a subscriber here on Twitch, you should go ahead and hit that follow button and catch up on our past episodes. And also, if you're interested in playing with us, come join us on our amazing Discord server and be a part of our community. Today we are playing Don't Get Caught, one of the chronicles here on St. Petersburg by Night. Let's introduce our players. That was smooth, that was smooth, Kraz. That was very smooth.
Hi, I'm Zumi. I play Avery, the Bruja.
And, well, I'm Judica, and I'll be playing Gwendel. The gangrel.
Krazes, I'm playing Rex.
I'm Jay. I'm playing Valerie, and I'm very well hydrated right now.
Amazing. I should hydrate more. All right, so last we left off, our coterie had finished exploring the sewers and made the discovery that the kindred responsible for a series of murders in the Anarch territories was actually a wight that was pretty much staying restricted to the sewers and coming out only when it wanted to feed. Our coterie gathered together at their haven to discuss options on how to deal with the creature and did a little bit of discussion on what it's capable of based on their collective knowledge and how it can be dealt with and the abilities it possessed. They made a call to Sebastian's ghoul and their point of contact, Marcos, to see if they could receive some assistance from their Anarch Baron, and were told that Marcos could set up a meeting with Sebastian, but until he returned from his time away, that they would just have to manage things as best as they were capable of. That being said, we are going to start today's session with our coterie catching up on some errands that they were going to be completing in the interim. We'll start with Valerie. Yeah, we're gonna go opposite order this time around. Valerie, you decided over the break to go ahead and start building some influence after having some suggestions from Mr. Farrow, the Baron of Palm Harbor, another Anarch venturer like yourself. And you started building a reputation and influence among the news sources of the Tampa Bay area. Over the break, River was able to figure out where the interns, the people who do the real work at news outlet stations, he figured out where they like to congregate after hard days at work. And tonight you find yourself at a hipster bar in the neutral zone, actually. It's not exactly downtown St. Petersburg where all the tourists and the high-end bars and nightclubs are, but downtown Dunedin is actually more of a local downtown area, as it were, where you find a lot of... It's kind of like one of those areas where you can find a place. It's like one of those hidden gems where it's more a local destination for the residents and caters more to the residents rather than the tourists. So today you find yourselves at one of the nightclubs there. That's more low-key. It's the middle of the week, so it's a lot more quieter. River has pulled up next to the club, a couple blocks away from the club, and gestures with his head to the building, as it were. All right, Miss Monet, that is where they tend to come every week after work. I've done some digging on them. It's mostly just a group. It's just 3 of them. They tend to do a lot of the work and are the ones who are connected to the major writers and the main people that push the stories out.
Do you happen to know if all of them are in the building right now, if one of them comes a little later?
Generally, they all come together after work. They tend to have to stay behind a little later compared to the rest of the staff at the Tampa Bay Times. So it's generally they all kind of Uber here together.
All right.
But there's 3 of them. One guy, it's a guy named Stanley, another guy named Guillermo, and a woman that goes by the name of Tessa. But they should all be in there right now. They generally hang out near the back, close to the bar, and they seem to have a good reputation with the bartender at the here too.
Okay, I appreciate the information. You need to have to know a little bit about their physical description, just so I can make sure I'm talking to the right people.
Guillermo appears to be Puerto Rican, from the Orlando area. Initially moved over. Is from what little I could dig up on him. Goes to the University of Tampa, and is currently working towards a degree in journalism. They all are. Tessa is a local. She lives further down in the Clearwater area. Parents, I think, are Scientologists. I'm not entirely sure on that one. And then Stan is... I didn't get much information on him. I think he's from out of state and ended up at University of Tampa.
Okay. All right. I should be able to get it in with them one way or another. If you want to come in and stand on watch, enjoy yourself a little bit, feel free to. I'll be going in right now. And I will get out the car, activate Blush of Life.
All right, go ahead and give me your rouse check.
I generally do great at these.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like I said, I do great at these. I got a 1.
It's okay. Luckily, bestial failures don't apply to rouse checks. So yeah, you feel yourself get a little bit hungrier as you activate your Blush of Life and force the blood to the surface to give you a less than dead appearance. River does get out of the car as well, and keeps a mindful eye on the 2-hour parking restriction for the area, and will follow you towards the nightclub/bar. As you approach, it's a Wednesday. today, so it's not very busy inside. It seems to just be a small crowd of locals who just seem to be unwinding after work or have their night off, as it were. There's only one bartender inside, which kind of gives you the impression that this is just a regular thing, that it's pretty slow on the weekdays. You see that there are several groups of people ranging from their early 20s to late 30s just milling about the establishment, and River will gesture over to a back corner where there is one of those high-end high top tables with the high stools, and just nod over in that general direction. That's them over there, ma'am. If you need anything, I will just be keeping an eye out by the bar.
All right, appreciate it. As I will now walk on over. Let's see. I'll have a little bit of time to think about my plan here, but I got this. So I'm going to walk. Is there like an extra chair, like how they're kind of sitting here?
Yeah,
like
the tables generally, they generally are meant to just sit two people, but you can tell that individuals drag chairs over from other tables. You've been to a bar, you've been to a nightclub, people move chairs all the time just so that way their groups can be accommodated. But there is a table next to theirs that has an additional chair as well, if you're wanting to kind of just slip in. And
I will actually. I will grab a chair, pull it on over. I'm going to preferably sit next to Stan.
Okay.
If I can, and I will sit down and I will say, nice place you picked out here, Stan.
He kind of looks up at you, a little confused. I'm sorry, do we know each other?
Yeah, we met, college earlier. We were talking, you were talking about, possibly coming out here after work, if you're done with work, and I'm going to try and use Forgetful Mind on him.
Okay.
To write that memory in his brain.
Go ahead and give me a rouse check.
If all else fail, make the memory of a great impression. I actually didn't get hungrier.
Okay. All right. You make eye contact with him, explaining this to him, and he blinks, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're in my creative writing class, aren't you?"
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, guys, this is sorry, what was your name again?
Hannah.
Guys, this is Hannah. She and I have creative writing together. Hannah, this is Guillermo, and this is Tessa.
I give a nod to both of them as I say, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, they like nod politely as they're sipping their drinks, and Tessa smiles at you. So, you also go to Tampa Bay University of Tampa?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have the same class together. Me and Stan here.
Oh, awesome. Are you a up-and-coming journalist, or trying to be at least too, like the rest of us?
Yeah, I'm trying to work on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with it, but we'll see how things develop.
It is hard out there right now, especially since most of the community doesn't generally trust most local news sources anymore, thinking that it's just like basically just trying to appeal to the masses and not actually do any real reporting. But I mean, if you can get in, it's actually a pretty sweet gig. I mean, and Guillermo's just like, I mean, when the bosses aren't being total tools and taking advantage of us all the time for unpaid labor. Because you shouldn't pay your interns, right? And he just rolls his eyes and takes a sip of his Corona.
I can agree to that. It's been rough out here, trying to find somewhere, trying to make sure stay afloat here, but hopefully we can get in here soon, right?
Right.
Especially considering that we're the ones that doing all the actual work.
It's fine. We're the ones taking over pretty soon anyway, our generation and all that stuff, so we're gonna just be actually producing real news. And Tess and and Stan is just like, I mean, yeah, if we'll try our best, but always gonna probably be censored at some point by someone.
That probably will be the case, but maybe if we stick together here, maybe work a little bit, get the older ones out the way, actually start reporting on some real news for once.
That would be amazing. And Tessa like looks over at River at the bar. Did I see you walk in with that guy?
Looks over, just I'll say it. Yeah, we're friends, you know.
He's cute. You sure you aren't just more than friends?
Things are developing. I mean, nothing really, no words attached to it yet. It's a,
damn it.
You know, kind of how one of those things.
That's unfortunate, because if you weren't entangled, I probably would have asked for his number. And she kind of just waves at River, who kind of like gives a look and just awkwardly sips what looks like a Coke he ordered. And he's just like, nope.
So, but besides that, I know a little bit awkward of a start, but I was kind of interested, you know, any interesting stories y'all kind of working on right now? I know that maybe not a place to talk about it, you know, just got out of work, but I've just been curious on anything.
We've kind of been working on like that big case that just happened that's got reported on with the Coast Guard seizing like a bunch of cocaine. Like that was pretty big news, and we got to talk to it was pretty cool. We got to talk to the DEA. We got to talk to like actual feds, which it's been a while since we've had some federal agents in the area, so things are kind of happening right now. People are paying attention, it seems.
I know. I was looking into that a little bit myself, seeing all that developing out. It's gonna be making some waves here. I'm wondering what else is it going to lead towards, you know, all this going down, what people are going to do after this.
I mean, currently they're all abuzz about this cocaine thing that's going on, and then it's just mostly election bullshit on the back end over that's generally on front page. You know, the guy with all of his depositions and everything. I'm not going to talk about him. And Guillermo's just like, please don't. I can't get into this right now. I don't want to talk about him. And Stan's just like, yeah. But we generally, right now we're kind of looking into some stuff that, just a couple of things, we're looking into the aftermath of that riot that happened in Palm Harbor. We're looking into, they got us all over the place doing fluff pieces and collecting statements from just the cops, the feds, pretty much everyone. It's a lot of work, but it'll be worth it.
It will be worth it in the long run, at least.
And Tessa will look over at you and just be like, you know, if you ever want to hang out with us, I know you don't work with at the news station with us and everything, but we do this every week on Wednesday nights. If you want to just hang out with us and everything, we'd be more than happy to have you.
Well, I actually appreciate that. I would. I don't really have lots to do on the Wednesday night, so figured, you know, talk to Stan and, you know, got along a good amount, and, you know, told about this meeting, and I figured, why not, you know, see how things are, make some new friends in the area, you know, especially, you know, people trying to go, you know, like-minded individuals.
Yeah, and if your friend wants to join us too, he can. He doesn't have to sit at the bar.
He's a bit shy, unfortunately, but maybe once he starts warming up, he might come over here and start getting a little bit more chatty. He's just not very good with new environments.
Okay. Yeah, no. He can go at his own pace. That's fine. But yeah, no. Definitely. Whenever you want, we're always here on Wednesdays.
I appreciate that. I unfortunately won't be able to stay for super long right now, at least for tonight. I got some homework I need to get done, and But it was really nice to meet you all. I appreciate you inviting me out, Stan.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
But and I feel like at that point I will just kind of like sitting by, like letting them talk, listening in when I can, but like kind of Valerie now taking a little bit like a step back from the conversation to just observe.
Yeah, they chat, mostly bitching about the people they work for the most part. But you do catch on that the more you sit there, the more you realize that they are definitely a font of information within the Tampa Bay Times for the cases that they are directly working with. So this is definitely a valuable asset and resource for you to utilize later on in the future. The rest of the night that you're there, like the rest of the time that you're there, they just chat and everything. Eventually, you depart for the night with River, and you've fully established your influence over the interns of the Tampa Bay Times. All right. Next up, we're going to move to Rex. Rex had a very particular request where he wanted to get in touch with the person who created him. His sire, Snot. Rex, you have Snot's number in case of emergencies. If you ever did need to reach out to him. You know that he's still up in Pensacola. He didn't come down with you, just sent you along, just for safety reasons. And, but you do have his number. Tonight we find, I'm guessing you're going to be calling him from your coterie, from your haven?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you're at your haven. You have his phone number. You go ahead and you dial the number, and after a few rings, you hear the line, the one side of the line go live. Hey kiddo, what's up?
Yeah, hey Snot. Look, I've been on this job for a while now, and they had me hunting for somebody.
Is this sensitive information you need to talk about?
Not something that you need to be concerned about. I guess just the only thing I can't tell anybody about it is the cams from where I'm at. So,
No, do I need to secure the line at all?
If you mean potentially breaking shit, yeah, I guess so.
Well, yeah, one sec. Hang on, buddy. And you hear a couple of taps on a smartphone screen with his fingers, and you hear a beep on the line, and then another beep, and finally you hear his voice come through again. Alright, that should do it. I got a few buddies from the fam around here that they set this up for me on my phone so I can just take on general calls, so we should be good to talk, man.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so to cut to the chase, the person that we're hunting for is a white, and I need some advice. Do you know how to deal with one? Have you dealt with one before?
Me personally, no. I've seen one. Generally, I saw one time they like to hang out in dark, dingy places generally where they're not perceived for the most part. I've seen one. I saw it from a distance. I got told what it was. This was early on when I was about your age, actually. Yeah, and one of the cousins, he told me to stay the fuck away from that thing, cause he said, and I quote, will drain me like a juice box. if given the opportunity. So
Well, that's fun.
I don't fuck with those, but the cousin said that they're smart for the like smart in the way a predator's smart. I know that there's just like, all right. So you know how you have that little voice inside of you that like an angel on your shoulder and a devil on your shoulder sort of deal?
Yeah, he's a little rat bastard.
Yeah, well, the devil on your shoulder is the guy that took over completely. And that's the guy doing all the driving. He fucking stabbed the angel in the back. And the angel's just not going to be doing shit no more. And basically every little impulse that you have to just fuck around and find out is what's going to be driving you for the most part. You eat, you do whatever the fuck you want, and you don't care if people see you because who gives a shit? You'll just fucking kill them.
Right. Well, we've got this one stacking bodies in the sewers, so...
That ain't good.
Yeah, so I was hoping that you or somebody you know might have some advice about how to deal with it.
So I'll tell you what the general stance on them are for the Anarch side of things, and even the camp side of things, because I do know, because we got some camp cousins. We don't see, you know, our family. We don't fuck with sect lines.
Yeah, I've talked with a few.
Basically, when it comes to both sides of the fence, fucking kill them. They're not worth the trouble. If the quicker you can get rid of it, the better it is for the entirety of kindred kind.
So... So yeah, some of my coterie members are trying to see if they can like capture it, and I don't know if that's a smart idea or not. I don't think so.
How you got a place to keep it?
Not yet, but we might be. We have enough to potentially invest in something in our main coterie haven. I don't know.
You got, is one of you fucks a Tremere?
Nope. We ain't got none of that kind of magic bullshit. Just a Bruja, fucking Gangrel, and you fucking catch this, an Anarch Ventru.
That's funny. For real.
Yeah, she's a bitch though. Whatever. Anyway.
Most women are.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So it's the Ventru's idea, frankly, to capture the white. And frankly, I think we should just get rid of the fucking thing as soon as we can.
I agree. If you, the best course of action going forward is to just fucking get rid of it. It's a problem for all of you. And
yeah, I think.
No offense, but we hear things outside of your neck of the woods, and I gotta tell you, man, the cam ain't too, the Ivory Tower ain't too happy with all the attention that your city's getting again. They had this much attention about like right before they got their praxis. They blew up some apartments down there. Huh. They sent an Alistair and the fucking Justicar. You know what those are, kiddo?
No, what's that?
Those are people that will nuke the city if they decide they don't want to fucking deal with you anymore.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that does not sound good.
No.
Well, I can't really do anything about that. That's all them. So hopefully we can avoid that situation, but that's just a gamble, I guess.
Yeah. Best thing you can do, fucking kill the thing. If Lil Miss Priss wants to fucking catch it, good fucking luck. The only way to keep one of those things under control is to just put a stake in its heart. And even when you do that, you ain't gonna be getting it talking, assuming it even wants to fucking talk to you.
Yeah, I figured. Hey, so one of the theories they were throwing around is that, and let me know if you've heard about this before, is that maybe, like, a Sabbat loaded it up to be like that, and on certain targets, I don't know how much you can rig these people to do things.
I mean, you can't really... They're gonna do whatever the fuck they want. Those things, you can't put a leash on those things. What I know that the Sabbat tend to do... did do, they ain't around anymore, and you can hear the air quotations in his voice as he says that. Basically, what they like to do is they like to do these mass embraces where they kill people, and they smack them over the head with a shovel and bury them as they're making the change, and then they got to fight their way out. That when you're first made, that kind of does something to a person.
Yeah, it sounds like it sucks ass.
Oh, it does fucking suck ass. I mean, like I said, I've only seen a white once, but I've run into a couple of Sabbat. They are, I don't want to say heretical fucks, but they're heretical fucks.
I got it.
They like attention too much, I feel. And you know me, I don't like attention.
Yeah. I know it full well.
But yeah. Just fucking kill it, man. It ain't worth the trouble.
Yeah, you got it. Any other advice before I go?
When it comes to a fight, put yourself first, kid. You can always find new coterie mates.
That's true.
They ain't worth your life.
All right.
And if you need to get the fuck out of there, I can find you another situation.
I'll keep that in mind. Thanks, not.
Yeah,
Talk to you later.
Kiddo. Keep in touch. Alright. You hang up the phone. Line goes dead. And we're going to transition to Gwendale. Gwendale also had the request to give a phone call to his sire. I assume, Gwendale, you are making this call from the Coterie Haven, since that is where you are currently staying. Or are you... I can't hear you.
Yes, this is what I do, and also I'm going to ask Nyx to give me a secure line.
Okay. So Nyx is able to set up your phone to do to secure the line for you, and you call the last number that. Sorry, I'm blanking on her name. Is it how do you pronounce it again?
So her name is Maylin.
Maylin, thank you. I'm like, I know I'm gonna pronounce it wrong if I don't ask. Okay, so she gives you
okay.
you have the last known number that Maylin provided you with, and you go ahead and call it. And after a few moments, you hear the line go live, and you hear your sire's voice over the phone. Hello?
Hello, here is my favorite corsair.
Gwenda? Is that you?
Yes, it is I. It's been a while.
I haven't heard from you for a while. How are you doing?
Well, I'm still alive, and well, other than that, pretty good.
Alive is
I was
preferable.
yeah, alive is preferable. And yeah, I was calling because so we had some homework to do, and one of them involved a blight or whiter, some kind of creature like that.
You wait, Okay, I don't. You have you're doing homework on a white.
Yes.
And why are you doing homework on a white?
Well, we were supposed to find out why people were dying all around, and well, it leads us to a sewer, and then we end up meeting some of these creature that we violently run away from, and
Running away was the smart decision.
yes, well, it was pretty decided to kill us. We thought it was the best course of action at the moment. Staying alive was the main objective, so
Staying
yes.
alive should be always the main objective. Now,
I agree on that.
are they taking care of it? Are they going to kill it?
Well, most of us wants to kill it, but there was a venture to decide otherwise, so
Of course, eventually wants to do things the more complicated way. Wait, why are you with Aventru?
well, you know, she can be useful sometimes. But you know, it's a Coterie things. So when life gives you lemons, you make lemonades.
Let
right?
me guess. De Leon?
Yes.
He likes to make things dramatic for no fucking reason.
Well, Van Crew can be dramatic, but it's okay. We can handle that.
I do business with him, but his predilections are not to my tastes.
Well, is how do you say? He has a shining personality.
He's got a shining something, that's for sure.
Agreed on that. So yeah, so we are going to try to destroy it, and well, other than say hi, I was wondering if you would have some advice on how to.
Fire. I know that we shouldn't involve ourselves with fire, but if you can set it on fire from a distance safely, that would be the most efficient way to deal with it. Now, you said it is in the sewers?
Well, it's hiding in the sewer, so we cannot, go on an airplane and napalm everything.
No, then
So,
no fire. Sewers contain traces of methane gas. You could
Right, so maybe,
you could potentially set yourselves on fire as well.
mm,
You have that sword, yes, that I gave you?
I still do have it. Very useful.
If you can get close enough to take out the head, that would be a efficient way of eliminating it completely. Try to weaken it from a distance first. Just because bullets won't kill us doesn't mean it can't incapacitate us. If you have guns, use them to your advantage. And get it as injured as possible before going in and taking off its head. And try to deal with it as quickly as possible, because if it keeps on killing people, it's going to start attracting attention.
Yeah, it's the wrong kind of attention, so
Yes.
that's something we don't want. Agreed on that.
I have heard word that the Camarilla is keeping its eye on that area of Florida right now.
Yes, they do, and so we're trying to be discreet here, but if this thing continue to kill everything it says, it's going to be hard to.
So better to kill it quickly and then just forget it ever existed.
Yes, I think it's going to be better that way. So, okay, so plan is to weaken it and then cut his head.
Yes, that would be the most effective way to do it. If you
Alright.
can have someone go in with you just to split its attention, that would help you land a better blow on it. Never go in without a plan, Gwendale. That is how you die.
Yes, there's many ways to die, and going without a plan is one of it. Right. Well, I'll call you when it's done.
Okay. Take care of yourself, and
You too. And
don't put yourself in unnecessary risk. If it looks like the tides of battle are not going in your favor, then you must flee and live to fight another day. Understood?
right. We have a Bruja, so I'm sure she will
Oh.
be happy to go frontline. I'm not worried at all. So she'll be fine.
Be careful, Gwendale. You're starting to sound like the Camarilla. They like to put both of our families in the front line because they thought that we are good cannon fodder, as it were.
Right. I'll try not to joke about it anymore. Right. Agree. Well, I'll call you when it's done, and well, I hope you will hear from me.
Yes, I do hope I will hear from you too. In the situation that I do not hear from you is, do you want me to make sure that Nyx is taken care of?
If you could, family is family, so.
Of course. I will, if things go badly and I do not hear from you in 2 weeks, I will send for her and make sure she is taken care of.
Make sure that you take her back, right?
Yes, correct.
'Cause, I'm sure, like, with a couple of bottle of whiskey, she will, like, forget about everything, so.
Alright.
The usual. Well, it was nice to talk to you, and I'll talk to you later.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
And the line goes dead. Alright. Having received similar advice from your sire that Rex received from his, we now move on to Avery. Avery, you have taken on the task of jogging throughout the Tarpon Springs territory to try to do regular patrols. So, you're going on your walk. Go ahead and give me a wits and awareness as you are jogging. Well, I stopped to take a sip of something. Okay. So with 2 successes. All right. So I'll say that you are jogging in a residential neighborhood in Tarpon Springs. You don't notice anything that would put you on your guard, but you do notice that as you're jogging that the streets are eerily empty at night. You don't, like, normally you can see people out and about. You can see activity even like on front lawns, maybe people taking dogs on walks. It's pretty early in the evening, and it's kind of off that no one is even out and about this early in the evening. It's almost like while the news outlets are making light of the situation of the murders, that the environmental factor of the public being affected by it is starting to trickle outwards.
I mean, she's got the note app on her phone. She's just, things that she's noticed. So, empty streets is something that she just kind of writes down.
Mm-hmm. And as you are jogging and writing, making note of things on your app, you do get a text message from Jared.
Okay. Yeah.
And you see on the text message it says, "Where is this place you wanted me to meet you at again? Where, like, in the Sponge Docks?"
Yeah, I will go ahead and send him the address to the Coterie Haven.
Okay. And he'll text, "Are you there right now?" Or, and then just dot.
On my way currently.
Okay. ETA? Question mark.
I'd say I'm in the area, so like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
And you'll receive another text that just says OMW. Thumbs
Cool. I'll just go back to my notes app, finish those notes, turn my music back on.
And you start jogging. You've made a habit of ending your jog at the Coterie Haven, so you can basically pass along what information you've noticed on your jogs and your patrols in a little notebook that the Coterie has. And as you're running up, you do see Jared pulling up in his car. And you see him get out. He is looking a little less angry tonight since you last saw him, but he is still like a little bed-raggled, still adjusting a little bit. He kind of has his hands in his jacket pocket and is kind of looking around as he takes in the Coterie Haven. So this is where you and your other vamp friends meet?
Kindred. Yes.
Kindred, right.
I mean, I don't mind the word, but older people do.
Yeah, probably. And probably don't want to be saying vamps because it can break this rule, apparently.
I don't see the issue with it. Vampires, like the movies and games and everything, is super popular right now. So I don't understand like why we can't do it. Like people would think that we're just, weirdos playing a game with other people about vampires.
I just don't want to get kicked out of the club as that Lucian guy told me.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Just know that anything you do that messes up, can probably reflect back on me, maybe. Actually, whatever. It's fine.
Great. And he looks at the Coterie Haven. So, are your friends in there now?
Maybe 2 friends and 1 acquaintance, yes. And some people like you.
Alright. Are we going in to meet them, I guess?
Yeah, they were asking about you, so.
Alright. He kind of rakes his fingers through his hair, kind of coming to terms with his life right now and everything that's happened over the past couple weeks. And you told me you don't want me to mention that place you got me watching, right?
Right. Keep that an absolute secret. That is the utmost importance, that you do not mention it to the other kindred or to the other ghouls.
Yes, ma'am. You both start to approach the Coterie Haven, and you go inside. You have your own key to the place. And inside, everyone else is there, gathered, and you find Gwendale, Valerie, and Rex all gathered, as well as the ghouls that have made their habitual area to hang out, the kitchen, because they're the only ones that can really take advantage of it. And
yeah,
Jared is just kind of keeping his gaze down and not talking, just staying behind you for the most part.
Avery's gonna move out of the way and be like, "This is Jared. He's my ghoul. Jared, these are," and I like introduce everybody. And I point over to Nyx and River. And I'm like, and those are the other ones that are like you. So maybe you go talk to them. You will feel better about your whole situation.
He gives you a look that's just like, yeah, that'll, like, a look that kind of just says, yeah, that'll fix it, having other friends like me. And starts moving over to the ghouls, nodding respectfully to the other members of the coterie before going into the kitchen, where River is already kind of pouring him a cup of coffee. And Nyx is going over and pouring a little bit of whiskey into it for him. He's like,
I must remember
like, all right,
what it's like to be a first school.
That makes it a little better. And he starts sipping. And all the ghouls are kind of like just mingling in the kitchen, but keeping attention on their dometers in the living room next to the kitchen.
So I'm going to wave at the kids back in the kitchen. Hey, kids. So, Avery, who's this new guy?
Oh, it's my ghoul. His name's Jared.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And, what's his specialty?
A security guard.
So, Gerard, the security guard, is your new goal.
Look, he was in for criminal justice for a while. It never panned out for him, which was fine with me. I like the skills without the, power hungry pigness that comes with being a cop.
Right. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a glorified errand boy, right? She says that like her voice is like lower.
I see.
He
Oh,
kind
gosh.
of
At least he's
You come
pretty.
he hears the pretty part, and you see him perk up just a little bit.
I feel like I was just like reading some sort of book, like some, older classic literature, and just kind of like looks up, like overhearing this conversation, just kind of eating in, looks at Jared, kind of looks him up and down, looks like with a little bit of disapproval, like a little bit like, oh, I thought it could be slightly better, and then just like kind of look back down, just I thought they'd be bigger, and then just that's the kind of look they have on their face, just a little bit.
Bigger doesn't always mean better. Look at me.
Yeah, she's right.
I mean, frankly, Avery, it sounds like you're showing us your new pet lizard. So-
Well, he's not a pet, and he's not a lizard.
I don't know. This just feels kind of awkward.
Yeah, I mean,
But like, you guys have yours over here all the time. Like,
Yeah, but which them like person?
yeah, I mean, we don't. I usually tend not to speak for River. River can talk for them, himself usually. What does Jared here have to say?
I don't really gotta say anything, because I'm still adjusting, and I'm making the decision to not speak right now. Because I don't know you guys, and no offense, I'm just trying to gauge the
Blend in.
environment before talking. I'm trying to acclimate, as it were.
Yeah, know the way of the land.
Yeah.
Okay. Yo, what up? We're vampires.
I gathered that. And you notice, Rex, that as you speak, he kind of like, his eyes widen just a little bit at the sight of you before looking a little confused, and that there's that unseen question in his eye, is just like, what happened, bro, what's up with your face? But he doesn't say it.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about this. It's just my vampire thing. It's silly. She's
Avery-
angry. I'm ugly. It's fine.
Avery definitely told Jared beforehand not to make any comments about Rex's face.
So, okay. So you all have your own thing, then?
Yeah, there's like clans or whatever. I'm sure River will let
Right,
give you the
well-
breakdown.
Yes, we are like the Avenger.
To be fair, he met 3 Bruja his first night, so
That
Wow.
yeah.
One is enough. So.
They were there was this one guy, Lush, and he was fucking scary. Basically telling me that if I get kicked out of the club, I'm dead.
Pretty accurate assessment.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Lucian's actually pretty awesome.
I have conflicting opinions of the guy, but okay. I only met him
Who
the
does he
one
met
time.
with?
I only met him the one time, and he threatened me. So, just
To be fair, if he hadn't threatened you, I would have at some point. So,
good to know.
not like threaten as in just when I was telling you the rules. I'd
Yeah,
be
that's a way
telling you the
to-
consequences of breaking said rules.
I'll adjust. I'll adjust. I'll adjust. This is my life now. I'll adjust.
Yeah, I'm sure that you're going to be fine, Gerard.
Jared.
Apologies for your
Yes.
dominator.
Gerard? Gerard? How do you
Jared.
say
And you
Gerard.
can- everyone can go ahead and make me a wits and insight roll if they would like.
Still at 2 hunger.
This is a different night, so no. I'll assume you have hunted.
What's an insight? So
What's an insight?
Total failure. Let's go.
I got one success.
I'm too busy throwing shade.
uno successo.
Which Valerie Avery seems to have ignored.
It almost a tear almost goes down my eye. Oh my goodness, they're learning.
Oh no, she's raging on the inside. She just doesn't want to give you the satisfaction.
Alright, I think I'm just waiting on Gwendale's roll. Avery, you got one success. Rex, you got one success.
My computer is a bit
Yeah,
slow.
we have
sorry.
all the same dice pool here.
I'm
So
not
it's
very
wits and awareness.
insightful.
Wits and awareness, yes.
Also, sorry I'm fidgeting. My chair broke, so I'm trying to keep this thing stable.
Mine is also at that point. Alright.
I mean, it fell apart.
So
Woohoo!
everyone except Gwendale. No. Everyone except Gwendale failed the check. Gwendale, you are the only one who notices that Jared is getting a little agitated with the with just the flow of conversation. And it reminds you a lot of Avery when she gets agitated.
Anyway, welcome to the family, and maybe if you want to get some whiskey, do not hesitate. We have some very good one in the kitchen.
Yeah, thanks. What was Gwendale?
Gwendal.
Gwendale. Yeah, thanks. I think I'm gonna be taking up drinking a lot more.
Yeah, well, you'll be fine, Gerard.
And if you want anything harder, let me know.
You're not
yes, we have
going
a
to
party
make my
boy.
ghoul a drug addict.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, I'm out of coke anyway since something happened.
it's not because he's a ghoul that he cannot have fun, you know?
And
Right, but I need him to be functional.
I can.
Well, is he on duty right now?
I would assume.
No,
so,
not right
since
now.
I'm- Oh, I'm not. Okay. And he takes the bottle of whiskey and starts pouring a little bit more into the cup of coffee.
That's the way to go.
Tonight was for you, Jared, to bring you here so you can, be introduced to everybody that you're probably going to be interacting with.
Yes, we cannot wait to work with you.
In case you're counting there, I'm the only one who doesn't have one of y'all. So that's why there's 3 and 4.
Avery, can you give me a composure and intelligence roll, please?
Yes, give me a second. Hold on.
Okay.
There we go.
Not enough. Avery, as you are all talking and having this conversation, you suddenly feel a pull. You feel this frantic need to go to Sebastian. And as you are feeling this urge, the rest of you get a text message on your phone from Marcos that says, "The boss is ready to see you." And this is where we're going to go ahead and take our break. Everyone, stretch your legs, hydrate. We will be back shortly with a guest player that you all might know. And yeah, we will be back shortly. Until then, enjoy our theme song, Vampire by Faith and Failure, and we will see you in just 5 minutes.
It takes my breath away.
welcome back. Last we left off, the Coterie had gotten together at their haven where Avery introduced the Coterie to her new ghoul, Jared, and while they were conversing, she suddenly felt the frantic pull to go see Sebastian. We pick up our scene with the Coterie having taken separate cars because, Avery, I would assume that you probably took one of them.
She totally just was like, Jared, give me your keys, and just like left and definitely sped.
All right. So Avery left, frantically left, seemingly, from the Coterie Haven as you all received the text message. So Valerie, Rex, and Gwendale, are you all taking the same car to the Salamander Resort and Spa?
Hell no. I got my own ride.
I do have my own ride.
Rex, who are you bumming a ride with?
Come on, Rex, come with us.
Okay, fine. If you're letting me.
All right. So, Valerie, you and River take your car to the to the Salamander Resort and Spa, and Gwendale, Nix drives you and Rex and Jared, because he got left behind by his Dometer, to in her vehicle. You all pull up after about a 10-15 minute drive to the very familiar resort that you all met at initially. When you pull up to the Salamander Resort and Spa, Marcos is already waiting for you at the front entrance. Avery, you have arrived ahead of the Coterie, a good 2 minutes ahead of them. And as the rest of you pull into the valet parking section, you see Avery just sprinting practically past Marcos, who doesn't seem at all fazed by her behavior in this moment. Valerie, Rex, and Gwendale, are you going to stop to speak to Marcos before heading to see Sebastian?
Yes, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So you guys get out of your vehicles. Marcos has the valet service deal with your cars if needed. Since you have your ghouls present, it looks like just Avery's car is being dealt with at the moment. But Marcos will look to the rest of you. Glad you made it so quickly. Your associate already ran past.
Hey, how's he, what kind of mood should we be expecting him in?
The boss is... well, you'll see soon enough.
That's great.
Yes, very enlightening.
If you'll follow me. And he turns and starts heading into the building. Avery, you are speed walking through to going to where you last remember the meeting happening between you and the Baron and the rest of your coterie. You go up to the familiar door to the nice lounge area that you met the man you are currently one step blood bonded to, and you open the door. And as you open the door, what do they see, Sebastian?
So they would see a gentleman tied to a chair, beaten bloody, like horrendously bloody. They would see Sebastian mid-backhand to the man, cursing at him in Spanish before kind of reaching over to a table that seems to be filled with potentially dental tools or perhaps other interesting implements or devices. His hands would be completely covered in blood. And he is, well, if anyone does speak Spanish, they would hear him saying, $50 million? $50 million. And then he slaps the guy again.
The man in the chair has been beaten to the point of desperately sobbing. And speaking in return in Spanish, if for anyone who speaks Spanish would hear him saying, "Sir, we didn't know, they just came out of nowhere, they had us surrounded. The fact that some of us were able to get out without being arrested, we'll get it back for you. I am so sorry. We will get it back."
This is what I pay you for. I pay you to know. I pay you to avoid. I pay you to deliver the product as intended. Your excuses are meaningless to me.
We can make it up to you, sir. I please don't. Please,
you had your chance.
He's
and he's going to reach into his jacket and pull out a golden revolver and shoot his head off.
Gwendale, Valerie, and Rex, you come in just as the bullet is fired into this man's skull, but you had clearly heard the yelling from further down the hall as you were approaching. Who is anyone at 3 hunger?
I haven't made a rouse check for today. I should do that,
that's
huh?
right. Can everyone make their rouse checks first? I forgot to ask you guys for that. My bad.
I got a reputation to maintain.
God, reputation.
Gotta get hungry.
Success from me.
Yeah, success for me.
Okay.
Are you sure, Avery? Because that looks like a.
Didn't it?
It does have a giant.
Oh, I see. Okay, like I was.
Oh, yep, that's a skull.
That's a skull. Yours popped up at the same time as mine, so I
Okay, there we go.
didn't even
Alright.
look at the name. So
So,
Yeah, 2.
okay. Is anyone
So is it-
at 3 hunger? No? All right. So you all have entered the scene as Sebastian has fired this bullet into this man's skull. The man immediately goes limp. There is a spray of blood on the fireplace that he was set in front of. And you see the head just flop down, the body go limp as this man's life is extinguished before your very eyes.
Baron?
As if nothing happened, Sebastian's just going to reholster the gun and then reach over onto the table for a rag and start wiping off his hands. I see you got my message. Please come in. Have a seat. Marcos, make sure this is taken care of and make sure the remainder of his family, children included, pay off the debt he owes me now.
Of course, senor. And you see him go over to the body in the chair, untie the rope and unshackle the handcuffs that were keeping him in place, and without any effort, heft the dead body over his shoulder and begin carrying it out of the room into a side door from this lounge area.
Let us talk on the balcony. There is no need to be in the midst of someone else's mess. And with that, Sebastian will walk and start heading out towards the balcony area.
Who will follow?
Yes, sir.
Avery is still just kind of in awe of what she just saw. She's just gonna follow him out.
I'll be the last to follow.
Out on the balcony, there is some like cafe style tables, as well as like a bench booth that's kind of arranged along the edge of the balcony itself, with several cafe style chairs kind of placed out. And Sebastian will walk over to a little box that sits beside an ashtray and open it, pulling out a cigar and lighting it before kind of draping himself in the booth, and then looking towards Avery and patting the booth right next to him.
Yep, she'll take up that invitation.
So, it has been some time, and Marcos has been keeping me well aware of all of your activities. All of your activities. And he'll kind of look over each individual one of them very, very carefully and slowly before moving on to the next individual. That being said, there has been some good and there has been some bad. Which one of you would call themselves the leader of this little band?
Valerie would say, I believe that I have been pushing ideas and helping us or guide us towards what we need to do. However, I don't think that there is necessarily a full leader position.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna fit that role more than others might.
Bruja Ventru, whole thing aside there, I'm prefer Rex. Sorry, Valerie.
Very well. So, Rex, as the leader, which would you prefer to start with, the good or the bad?
Well, let's just hear the bad. Let's get it out of the way first.
Well, it seems we have a bit of a problem amongst your ranks. One of yours sees it within their capacity to disrespect someone else's property. Gwendale, when I gave you all this job, I said that Marcos was my representative, that he represents me and my interests. Who the fuck do you think you are to question my ghoul and therefore question me?
What are we talking about right now?
My ghoul gave certain recommendations, certain expectations, certain directions that you felt were unbefitting, I suppose, that you didn't agree with. I could see why it might slip your mind. I don't hire Gangrel for their intelligence. But try and think a little harder. Perhaps it will come to you. Does anyone else in the class like to speak up on his behalf?
I would like to say that Wendell here may not be the most intelligent when it comes to what one needs to do and what relationship, who to respect and whatnot. But I can assure you that they will take this lesson to heart, and that I will make sure that they do not make the same mistake again.
Yeah, I'm honestly not very aware of the situation at hand, but if it comes down to being my responsibility, we'll we'll work on it.
See that you do. In the meantime, since you felt the right to treat my property a particular way, I will feel the right to treat your property a particular way. Your driver is mine now. And if you perhaps find your way back into my good graces, maybe I will give them back to you, or maybe I will just dispose of them. Are we understood?
We do, but what's your property? Just to
Marcos is my property, as I made very clear the first time we met.
yes, but I never questioned Marcos.
That is not what he told me. He said that you had quite an argument, in fact.
An argument with Marcos?
I could bring him in here and ask him to relate to me, if you would like. To joggle your memory. Marcos!
Marcos comes out to the balcony in the midst of changing his shirt, having gotten blood on the last one. Si, senor.
It seems Gwendale has forgotten about your disagreement. Could you enlighten him, please?
Ah, yes. When they called me to inform me of the white situation, they felt the need to argue with me over the simple request I made to deal with it for right now and be patient. And that we couldn't get them the weapons that they were asking for without putting ourselves at risk.
Does this sound familiar, Gwendale?
No, we did thought about weapons that were not brought.
I seem to recall you were a little too insistent about the idea when we were making the call.
You asked for something that I could not provide. When I say I cannot provide you with something, that is the end of the conversation. There is no need for follow-up. There is no need for further pressure. You have to understand I have other business interests that I have to maintain, and bringing in such things as incendiary rounds is
Yes.
a difficult ask.
Yes, and I did say so. Because I understand the way of the business, but I would have not dared to push.
Did you feel pushed, Marcos?
I felt that the conversation kept lingering on the subject, yes. After I had given a clear answer of I couldn't pretend that it would be problematic to retrieve such ammunitions, especially with the attention that our organization already currently has on us.
Yes, and I did say I agreed. I never said I was against or try to linger on it. So that's why it doesn't.
Marcos
So
tilts
who?
his head and looks to Sebastian. Perhaps cultural differences, but
I see.
I felt pushed nonetheless.
Well,
I'm
I
sorry if you
believe
felt. Okay.
I believe the mistake of the one falls on the mistake of the whole. So here is what is going to happen. I have a problem. The puto cabron of a prince down to the south has interfered with my business interests to the tune of $50 million. Now, Rex. You have been doing some marvelous work lately, and I am glad that everyone is recognizing that you should be at the head of this coterie.
Yes, sir.
Get me back my product, and I will give Gwendale back his property. Fail to do so, and perhaps I take the $50 million out of the coterie.
To prove his point, as he is speaking, you all notice some movement out on the lawn several yards away, where you see two individuals holding Nyx between them, who appears to... Actually, Gwendale and anyone who wants to can go ahead and give me a wits and awareness check.
I'm good. I'm focusing on other things right now.
I'll go for it. 1 sec. Two successes.
2 successes. Avery got 1.
I need to just stop rolling.
Hey, at least it wasn't a bestial failure. Now we're just waiting on Gwendale's roll. Alright, those who got 2 successes or more will notice that Nyx looks like she has taken a couple of hits to the face. And that there is some blood coming out of her nose as a result.
Yes, your property will stay as my guest until this issue is resolved. However, I am not unreasonable. As an incentive to the rest of you to make sure that this gets done, because who cares about the loss of one little pet when it's not yours? But as an incentive, I will provide you with the munitions you seek if you can accomplish this successfully. Get me my drugs. You will have your flaming bullets. Fail, and I'll have you take care of the problem with no weapons whatsoever.
Yes, sir. That's all I can say.
Wonderful.
If I may, I know this may be pushing it slightly, De Leon, but I know I have come to... Baron De Leon's apologies. I come to the attention that, or I've been brought to the attention that Avery owes you for an action that they have done. Perhaps since this could be such a beneficial act to you, could perhaps Avery's debt be also paid in full with the completion of said mission?
Don't worry about that.
Oh no. I think we could take care of Avery's debt with one simple act. He will bite his wrist and extend it in front of Avery. Drink up, dear. We don't have all night unless you want us to.
I might. I mean, as a player, that wasn't supposed to come out, actually.
Okay, because I was about to be like, I might need to have some rolls to here.
She hesitates for a moment and kind of glances like guiltily up at Valerie before she,
You take a bite, you take a sip of his wrist, and it is just as enticing and delicious and addictive as the first, and you feel yourself even more pulled to Sebastian than you did before as you take 2 steps blood bonded towards Sebastian de Leon.
Don't forget to lick it when you're done, my dear.
Yes, sir. And she does.
I'm dehydrating
My
myself.
My business with Avery is concluded. That is all I needed.
Go ahead and take off the prestation debts flaw from your sheet.
Okay.
Now, Marcos has informed me of what you found. He provided me with the video evidence, but I'd like to hear from you what you found and what your thoughts are on how to handle this issue.
Gwendale, did you finish making that info packet for Mr. De Leon, Baron De Leon?
Yes, I did. So he will end all the files with the video and the clues, but well organized. And
Marcos does not.
there you go.
Marcos does not and look to Sebastian. It is very well put together, I will say that, in favor of Mr. Gwendale.
Wonderful. Then you are already well on your way back into my good graces.
But to put it frankly, sir, we explored the sewers, found a nice pile of bodies of municipal workers, and then we engaged with the white, which placed upon at least half of us a whatever discipline it is that repels fears. And we had to get out of there. We did not feel safe in its domain.
It has no domain. It is intruding upon my domain. But whites are very vile and dangerous things. When one succumbs fully to the beast, it is what they become. All they care about is hunting and feeding and destroying. Sating a thirst that can never be sated. And he kind of pulls down his sunglasses and looks over at Avery for a moment before pushing it back up. But they can be dealt with. They are strong, but they are not wise. They do not have the mental faculties that you do. So the best way to deal with them isn't by force, it is by outsmarting them, tricking them, getting the drop on them. If you were to go toe-to-toe with such a creature, you will die, undoubtedly, as they have the full capacity of their strength at their disposal. But if you were to bait them, lure them, trap them, they can be destroyed just as easily as any other kindred. You have to use all of your guile, because they are master predators, master hunters, and they are so strong. But if you get my drugs back, you will have everything you need to do it. It just matters if you know what to do with it. Were you able to identify this particular white? Find out any information about them or what they were before they became such a thing?
Baron De Leon, I was able to tell from the clothing that they were wearing that they are a more recent turn, that they are younger, which does raise a lot of questions concerning the fact of how they fall so quickly. We were not able to fully identify who the individual is. However, I believe if we were to capture this individual in some capacity, we might be able to, if you happen to have someone who is capable of blood sorcery, be able to track down his lineage or glean some information from this individual, try and find out what exactly happened, if it is a neglectful sire or perhaps something more insidious.
I do happen to have a Tremere that owes me a few favors. Perhaps I can bring them in and have them tested, but the matter is capturing such a thing. If it were to not have any legs or arms, it couldn't cause too much of a problem now, could it? Just stay away from the mouth.
That is a good idea. It will be difficult to accomplish this, but if we can do so, we can root out any confusion of how this occurred. And I know that Marcos brought up over the phone that this was something that has been known that the Sabbat has done, and I would want to make sure that there is no traces or anyone having any sort of ideas or even following in their footsteps in our territories, or in your territory, sir.
The Sabbat has done many things, but to create a white so quickly is even beneath them. They like soldiers, but they like soldiers they can control. Not to mention, the Sabbat should be all but non-existent at this point. Yes, my dear.
I know that there are a few of us that feed off others, other kindred. Maybe this one has to feed off of us and just lost herself along the way.
It would not happen so quickly. It would have to be something barbaric, something truly grotesque to cut the cord to what they once were. And again, that doesn't happen quickly. That is a decay that happens over time. And if this thing was created as recently as you say, I would have heard about it before it got this far. No, this is something else entirely. Perhaps some sort of blood sorcery, or perhaps something else. But I have never, in my many, many years, heard of anything that works as rapidly as this.
If you don't mind, sir. I did ask Marcos, though I understand that he's a busy man, if it was possible from the pictures that we provided if we could possibly identify them as anyone who might have been a previous anarch. Because we do know that they at least know the boundaries of the baronies. So I was hoping that perhaps it would have been one of our rank before.
Marcos does look to Sebastian in that moment. I touched base with Miss Blake, and she does not recognize the woman in the image. If they were an anarch of our domain, she's never met them before.
Get in touch with our Camarilla contact as well. See if they can identify the image. If they cannot, then we have to assume this is new. And if it is new, that means someone in the domain created them.
I will make sure to get the photo to her.
Wonderful.
That's why I believe it is best to capture this thing and find a way to trace back his lineage so that we may get to the bottom of what has occurred. Even though it may be difficult, it is the best way to ensure that never happens again.
If there is one, there could be more. If it is created as easily as it seems, if it is as recent a creation as possible, it may not be the only one. So I would advise proceeding with caution. If it has not been around that long, it should not have the stockpile of bodies that your video shows that it has.
I also kind of came to the same conclusion that there might be more than one. That was a lot of bodies for one. And I understand, like, you know, constant hunger, but like that was like too much. And if it's on all of the baronies, then
Beauty and brains, I always do pick them right, don't I? Well,
happy little Avery.
very good. Proceed with caution, prepare traps, and perhaps get yourself some very good appealing bait to use for this particular endeavor. Something that won't be missed if you fail. You don't even need flaming bullets for this, just simply some concussion explosives should do the trick to remove the arms and legs. But I'll leave that to you to determine. Finish the job, get me the drugs, and I will get you the munitions you need, whatever they may be.
Understood,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir. If you don't mind me asking, Baron De Leon, do we have any leads as to how we can best acquire your goods?
Marcos, where are my drugs?
That is where it's a little complicated. The DEA has already seized them and are keeping them in a warehouse at the local police station.
Here local or like St. Pete proper local?
Some have already been seized to the St. Pete proper, but there is a ship. Some of it is in a local. Our local. It seems that Mr. Russo saw fit to split the goods.
He's too smart for his position. Perhaps you need to consider making some friends in the Camarilla or spreading your influence out over the Kine authorities to the south. I am not foolish enough to try and send you across the border because I know what waits beyond. And I know, as skilled as you are, nothing escapes that thing's notice.
Yes, sir.
Rex, I trust you with this. You have not failed me yet, and I do not see the potential for you to fail me, as you are quite skilled and quite tactful. Get the rest of the coterie in line. Use all of the resources at your disposal. Get me back my drugs, and perhaps we can talk about further advancement within our organization. Show me that you are the leader that the others seem to think you are.
Yes, sir.
And Avery, darling,
Yes, sir.
I expect to see you back here in 1 month's time.
She immediately
have-
pulls out her phone and like puts it in her calendar.
We have a little arrangement to finish. But I've heard the last one is the best one.
I will be back in a month.
Good. Don't let anything detain you.
I mean, they'd have to beat me first, so
Very good. Do any of you have any other questions before you go about this task?
Yes, sir. Now that we've briefed you on the situation, what information would you like us to keep from the other barons once we brief them?
All you need to tell them is that you have identified the threat and that it is being handled. That it should not breach their borders, and that it will not be something to concern themselves with much longer. They do not need to know anything else.
Yes, sir. Anybody else?
I do have a question that's maybe pushing the boundary a little bit. I understand, Baron De Leon.
I love boundary pushing.
The scale of the threat has increased to just, instead of being one potential target to many and perhaps a creator of these creatures. Will there perhaps be a raise in reward, perhaps an expansion in domain, or perhaps something else? I know this is a bit much to ask currently. However, I feel with the writhing threats of the current investigation and situation that perhaps a greater reward would be greatly appreciated.
Could you be a little less Ventru?
Oh, no, my dear. I appreciate that. Someone took a lot from their time with Baron Pharaoh, didn't they?
I just kind of looks down for a second, just kind of breaking eye contact. I had to see what Baron Pharaoh had to say in their territory, then to get in their good graces once again after some of us made mistakes in their territory.
And did you kiss the ring?
I don't kiss rings. I was simply trying my best to fix our relationship, considering what has happened and the mistake that has been made.
Wonderful. Then yes, do this job efficiently, effectively, and most importantly, quickly. And yes, I will grant you more territory within my domain, as well as perhaps some other accommodations.
Thank you for your generosity.
We appreciate your audience, Mr. Baron De Leon.
Of course. Keep up the good work, despite a few missteps. You found what we've been looking for, and now you just have to eliminate it. That being said, I grant you all the right of destruction until this matter is handled. Find out what did this and eliminate it. No muss, no fuss. And if anything stands in your way, eliminate that also.
Yes, sir.
Don't make me regret this.
Marcos moves to the double doors that go back into the lounge room and holds them open for you as a clear message that it is time for you to leave.
I'll get up and do a slight bow and start walking that way.
Before Avery leaves, though, Sebastian's gonna pat her hair and run his hand down the back of her hair and then grab a fistful and give it a gentle tug before letting her go.
She might be back before a month.
Valerie will just stand up rather briskly, just quickly stands up and gives a bow as well before leaving. Seeing this happen, kind of having a look of almost pity for Avery as it just walks out.
Head pats and hair pulls? Why would you feel sorry for her?
Gwendale, as you are also making your way out, you can't help but cast one look back to Nyx, who is still being held by two of Sebastian's men on the lawn. And you can see her looking frustrated and angry and also just scared. And she does look up, having taken notice of all of you on the balcony and kind of gives you a look, just pleading with you to make sure nothing happens to her.
Sorry. So I will give her a reassuring look, and that's all I can do now.
You all start to head out to the lobby. Is there any conversation that you guys are having on your way out as you're walking through the halls of the resort?
Considering what has occurred, this could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, that's for sure. I don't know how to feel because, like, I'm both super pissed at having to now track down $50 million worth of drugs split across possibly at least 3 warehouses, but also the fact that he believes that we can do this, and all the up talk at me. Bleh,
I mean, I have a couple clanmates in the Camarilla that I've met up with. One of them, well, I don't know if I should talk to her. She's kind of their emissary, or maybe she's the one I should talk to. Either way, like, I can get in contact with them to see if they know anything.
Well, don't fester too long, because you already have been all night. Jesus.
Listen, I can feel you judging me.
Hey, I don't shame. I just notice. By the way, are you okay, Gwendale? I know that was a bit strong.
Well, so from now on, I will restrain myself to talk to Marcos, because I think maybe my English accent is a bit weird to him. So it's good that you are going to be the head of everything, because then there won't be misunderstanding. Yeah. Because I feel that I was the one who was trying to say, like, we shouldn't push it. Now I feel in the position that I was the one who was pushing it. So, yeah, but maybe it's going to be better if, you English people try to talk to Marcos next time.
If it helps, I've met someone down in the co-barony that could get us weapons if we absolutely need them.
Yeah, I know him too. Look, let's just get out of here before, I don't know. I feel like something bad will happen if we keep hanging out.
Yeah. Yep.
As you guys walk through the lobby, Valerie, wits and awareness.
Oh, goody. If only I had my assistant. No.
That's a fairly good roll for me.
I'm gonna use a willpower. Why not? That could be potential bestial failure. 2 successes.
2 successes is enough.
Oh, thank God.
As you are walking towards the lobby doors, you can't help but look over to the concierge desk. And what you see makes you stop in your tracks. You look over just as they turn around, their eyes meeting yours. A face that you haven't seen in a while, and brings you fear, apprehension, and anger as they meet your gaze at the same as you look at them and say, Valerie, as you look into the eyes of your father. And that is where we're gonna end tonight's session.
How could you do this to me?
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of St. Pete by Night, Don't Get Caught. Thank you again to Kent for joining us as Sebastian and showing the greater community that the party boy Toreador is a little scary sometimes. And thank you so much to my players for being good sports about tonight. It was a little bit more intense than we've handled in the past. We're gonna see you all here next week for another episode. Until then, take care of yourselves. Make sure to check out all of our social medias. And have a good night, and we'll see you next Thursday at the same time. Bye!
Bye.
Valerie, roll with us
Bye.
more.
Bye.